Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I have my boy Lucid here today as we're going to veer away from ball pythons today as I show off a little bit more about one of the other snakes that I actually keep, and that is this boy Lucid here, who is a Pueblan milk snake. So stick around. I'm Jack and you're watching Python Addiction. Hey everyone, thanks for joining today. As you can see, I don't have a ball python with me. I have a Pueblan milk snake with me today. This is my boy, Lucid. And I call him Lucid because he flows and moves kind of like a dream. He's not a very darty or fast, rapid-moving milk snake versus some of the others that I have held. He's very easy to handle and a very calm boy. He actually kind of likes being on camera, which is surprising. He's got such a cute little face. Such a cute little face. Excuse me. But I wanted to bring him on today as I wanted to talk about a species other than ball pythons a little bit and show you guys a little bit more of what I do keep here aside from the pythons, as I have many different types of snakes in my collection. So, is a milk snake a good snake for a pet? I say yes. And I say yes for a couple of different reasons. Number one, handleability. They can be very easy to handle if you work with them. When they're babies or when they're younger, they will be a little bit more flighty. And as they get accustomed to the handling, they become very, very calm. The other thing they do when they're younger or when they're not used to handling is musking. And that is essentially a very pungent smelling chemical that does come out of their cloaca, and it resembles the poop or pee, or they could just poop or pee on you. And that's kind of a defense mechanism. It's something that happens when they get stressed, and it's a way to get away type of thing. Who likes to get pooped on, reality-wise? Not many people, not many animals. It's a good way to get away. But these guys have another little defense mechanism aside from that aspect of things, and that comes in the form of their coloration, their color pattern. These guys are a Bastian mimic, which in essence means they mimic a venomous species to some degree to make themselves look like, hey, stay back, I'm not something you want to play with. And they look a lot like coral snakes, even though they are non-venomous, and they don't have, you have nothing to worry about with these guys. They are part of the greater milk snake family, or not milk snake, but king snake family, as milk snakes are part of that bigger clade. Which does mean that they're good eaters. And that's number two on the reasons why I think this is a good beginner snake for people to have in their collection, is for the most part they're not picky. They will eat whatever you offer them. This boy is definitely in that mix. I can pull out mice, I can pull out African soft furs, small rats. It doesn't matter. I pull it out. Whatever I have left over from feeding everything else for that particular day, I can offer him one of those prey types and he'll eat it. As long as it's appropriately sized based on his size, that's all that matters when it comes to what I offer him. And he will eat it without any issue whatsoever. And it does not even need to be hot. They don't sense prey the same way that ball pythons do, because they don't have labial pits. This is a colubrid, so they sense their prey by the taste, the smell of the prey through their tongue, instead of sensing it via heat in that respect there. So he'll go for it even if it's just room temperature. He'll still eat it without any issues whatsoever. I've never had a problem with him feeding, and I haven't heard of many people who keep milk snakes or king snakes in general that have much of a feeding problem at all, except for maybe when they're going in a shed. And that's pretty much the only time this boy does not eat, is when he is deep in blue. The next reason that's a good reason to keep them is their habitats are very similar to ball pythons or to boas in temperature gradient side, on the temperature gradient side of things. You need a hot spot of around 88 to 90 degrees, and the ambient can be anywhere from like 75 to 80. It's a little bit more, they can be a little bit on the cooler side, and it won't affect them negatively. This boy will move over towards his hot side, and as you can see from this little clip here that I did of his enclosure, I use a radiant heat panel as his enclosure's heat source, and his enclosure size is on the smaller side. And that's the next thing that is a good thing for keeping this smaller species of snake, is you don't need such a large enclosure when they're an adult. He is an adult, and he is in a 3 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot enclosure. It's very small for the footprint in comparison to some of the larger 4 foot enclosures and 6 foot enclosures that I have. So it makes for space saving if that's something that concerns you, is you can have a species of snake that doesn't need so much space. Similar to a corn snake. You can put a corn snake in a nice 36 inch or 3 foot by like 2 foot by like 18 inch or 2 foot high enclosure and not have to worry about that not being enough space. And as far as humidity goes, for the most part, ambient humidity is perfectly fine for these guys. He will tend to soak in his water dish if he needs a little bit of extra moisture when he goes into shed, but I don't see that often. Humidity in the 40 to 50% range is perfectly fine. As you saw in the little clip for his enclosure, I actually keep a little bit of moss in there because I'll spray it down every once in a while just to raise the humidity, because I am using a heat panel. I don't want it to all just dry out, so it's one of those things that I do once a week, is I spray it down just a little bit to keep it dampen it up just a little bit. And as you can see from his skin and everything, it's very shiny, very soft. He sheds without any problem with having otherwise just the ambient humidity. He does have 2 hides. He has one on the hot side and one on the cooler side, so he gets to pick and choose there. He gets a rough surface to be able to rub against when it comes to his shedding, and something to climb. He does use that little tree stump in his enclosure to climb up a little bit, but these guys are more ground dwellers, so you won't find them climbing up too much, but they will climb a little bit. So those are predominantly the reasons why I think these are an absolutely fantastic snake to keep if you're looking for something that's on the smaller side, but you still want to have a snake as a pet. I think that a milk snake, Pueblo milk snake, or any version of the milk snakes would be a fantastic option to choose from. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you someone who has milk snakes of your own, or any other type of king snake or anything like that? Let me know. I'd like to hear those comments. And if you liked today's video, please do hit that like button, as that lets me know that you like this type of content. I know that's a little bit different from the normal Python stuff that I do. So if you like these little sidetracks when I show off some of the other snakes that I have in my collection, it'd be good to know. And if you've made it this far into my video already and you haven't done so, please do consider subscribing and clicking that notification icon, as I do tend to do new videos at least once a week. So until next time, I love you all. I'm Jack, and you've been watching Python Addiction. Say bye-bye.